am dying to know what happened to him. How is it? I mean, maybe we're gonna have to wait a few days, a few weeks, months until some expert tells us. But what do you think? How did he end up dead?
Good question. Personally, I don't know. It's very interesting. I actually had my last episode was FBI agent Johnny Grusing, who talks a lot about. He talks a bunch of serial killers, bank robbers, like all kinds of stuff. And I got his take on it. And he basically was like, especially this is after they found out that she was died of strangulation. She was obviously murdered, and he was like, it was more of like probably a crime of passion. Like, was he planning this? More than likely not. It was just kind of like, hey, she told him, if you do this one more time, that's it. That kind of situation. And then escalated. And he basically used the term of like, a match lit in a room of gunpowder is kind of how he described it. But what gets me on that case is the time frame doesn't add up to me, to where she's been missing since like the middle of September. He goes back. He's got a 10-day head start basically in front of investigators. And then they report her missing. And he's not talking to the feds. The family's not talking to the feds. They don't want anything to do with it. And then four more days go by. The family then says, oh, well, we can't find Brian either. But an additional 4 days has gone by after he already went missing. So I was like, damn, is this family like trying to help him like get out of here? And what's odd on how they found him is they've looked in this preserve. I mean, you've all these resources, the feds, all the ABCs are in there. And apparently the place that they found him was underwater, where he was underwater the first time they looked in this area. But sure enough, the family never wanted to go on any searches. The one time they go on a search, they locate this bag that is waterproof, that has his notebook and backpack in it. And they find his remains or some of his skeletal remains. So I was just kind of confused of like the timeline of like, it looked like from the jump, the family was kind of like potentially helping him. And then of course, all these investigators can't find a damn thing. And then the one time the family goes out for a search, what do they find? They find his bones and his belongings. So I don't even know what happened. I don't want to say, oh yeah, he killed her. He may have not. I mean, the probability of him not is, especially now that they found his body, is like, I would say very low that it wasn't him, because why would he disappear and potentially either kill himself or whatever? But you're right. Knowing what happened with his body, whether it's, gunshot wound or he got eaten by alligators or whatever it is, I don't know. I think he did it, but I think he had some help along the way. And that's kind of what the FBI agent was saying. He's like, if there's any indication that the family helped him at all, the way that this case has been blown up in the media, the backlash is going to be horrendous for agencies if they don't go after the family. If there's any kind of help there or aid, is what he kind of said. And that's kind of what I was going with.